Holmes and Watson is at number 9.
See, I get this message from Simon Poole,
One of the producers on this show.
Yes, and he says,
Fan.
"Can you go and see Holmes and Watson?" And I was off the week that Holmes and Watson came out, and Robbie reviewed it last week on the show, and I thought, well, there we go, that's a bullet dodged. And but then Simon sent me an email that I couldn't really say no to because it included screening times and locations. And there was about 20 of them. So it literally looked like I wasn't doing my job if I didn't do it.
It would have done.
So I went to Eastleigh, which is... I like going to Eastleigh. Eastley's very nice. And there's a nice cinema there, which I often go and see if I missed a movie at a preview screening. And I saw Holmes and Watson, which, weirdly enough, John C. Reilly, who we're going to speak to in just a moment... And I'd seen a lot of negative stuff on Twitter and in the press saying, it's really terrible. Somebody said, has John C. Reilly norbited his chances of getting an award? Because there's that whole thing about you do a movie that's brilliant, but then you do another movie that's kind of... Holmes and Watson is indescribably bad. I mean, it is... And what's really, really infuriating about it is... I had seen when Robbie reviewed it, and Robbie was talking about, the whole thing had begun. There's a Sacha Baron Cohen vehicle, and then there's this weird thing that there's the opening sequence in America is different to the opening sequence that we have. The sequence that we get here starts with Holmes on the ground tending a marrow, and Watson deciding to throw himself off, and Holmes saying, "Please don't jump on my marrow." And Watson mishearing him and thinking that he's somebody who cares. It's just this sequence, which just, comedy, suicide and marrow sequence. I mean, it's just staggeringly unfunny. And we're getting the voice of Holmes, which is this kind of really weird, odd, annoying British accent. And I thought it's fine because that particular accent is clearly only going to be with us for the beginning of the film. And then it wasn't. It was there the whole way through. So Will Ferrell is doing that voice all the way through. So it has this unbelievably grating accent. None of it's funny. The humour is fantastically kind of stupid and like something from the 1970s when you would turn on the television and the most retrograde, really, really terrible, boring comedy would be on, and just... making jokes about things that aren't funny and finding humour in things that aren't funny and thinking that shrieking is funny. And I thought, it's okay. Well, I think if the film's only like 90 minutes long, it's going to be okay. But I was in the cinema with about 14, 15 other people. And I thought, okay, I'll do a test, which is I won't be grumpy. I will sit and listen to how many times everyone else laughs. And there was this stony silence, absolutely stony silence, nothing going on, no matter what happened in the stuff that was going through, nobody laughed at all. And as I was walking out of the cinema, somebody turned to their friend and said, "That was terrible." And it was all I could do to stop myself from turning around and going, "Hello, I am one of the nation's leading film critics," and it was awful. It was really depressing. And I mean, it's not like entertainingly depressing. Not like, you just sit there and think, I don't know how a film this bad got made, because it's lumpen and for a start, Will Ferrell, it looks like every single line has been overdubbed. The voice that he's doing in it is so excruciatingly annoying, but it actually looks like they've gone back and post-synced it. So it looks like the voice he was doing when they were on set was even worse, and this is the improved version. And I know that John C. Reilly is brilliant, because we're about to talk to him in Laurel and Hardy, which I think is giving away no spoilers to say we both feel very warmly about. And yet this is, I mean, it's like being smacked in the face with a comedy mallet of shrieking grimness, And the other thing is, why is it Holmes and Watson? It's why is it Holmes in the same way as why is Irritating Rabbit Peter Rabbit? Why is this Holmes and Watson? But the one good thing is it's at number 9. It's only been in the charts for 2 weeks. I mean, it's going to be gone really, really soon. But no, it's a blot on everyone's career. And as far as I can tell, they're just trying to get rid of it. They wanted it out, in the post-Christmas rush, and then get rid of it. And they should do. It's not funny entertaining. It's a really headachy film. And that was the same screening room, incidentally, that I saw Keith Lemon the movie in. And I started to wonder whether it was the screening room, and it isn't, because I'm sorry, I'm boring you. Anyway, it's rubbish.